Hi teachers, it's Laura from Travel and Teach Online FAQ, and today's video is all about my year with DaDa. This week marks my 1 year anniversary, I guess you could say, working for the company and teaching online in general. So in this video I'll talk about some milestones, how I got into online teaching, why I chose DaDa and I'm still with them a year later, why I'm thinking about diversifying in the future, and I'll also share some advice and things that I wish I had known when I was starting out to hopefully make your life a bit easier. So to start off with, I just wanted to share a few things a few milestones, I guess. So over the year I have taught 1,978 classes now. It was true this morning. 78 classes, so that's quite impressive. I think that's quite a lot of classes. I teach around 15 hours a week on contract if you are interested, but with part-time I usually do more like 20 to 25 a week. I have 20 regular students and 14 of them I've had since my first month of teaching, so we've had nearly a year together for pretty much all of them, and that's really cool because I've got to know them really well, they get to know me, and it's awesome to see how much progress they've made in the year. I have also taught in 6 countries this year. Oh, I'm doing the Chinese numbers now. This is 6 in Chinese. So I have taught in 6 countries this year, and hopefully I will teach for many more in the future. So that's just some basics. Let's talk about how I got into online teaching and how I chose DaDa. So I was teaching in Barcelona. I am an ESL teacher by profession and I love it. But I do get homesick staying away from home for such a length of time, and to be honest, as much as I love a country, I do get itchy feet after a while. So having somewhere that you have to stay for a year was quite difficult for me. I wanted to come back home for a little while and spend some time with my family, and then the plan was to maybe head to Vietnam or somewhere like that, somewhere in Southeast Asia, and get a job there. I met someone in a park in Barcelona. He told me about online teaching and I thought this would be a great stopgap while I spend some time at home. We don't have any language schools in my town, but I didn't want to get a job in a shop or as a receptionist again. I wanted to teach and this seemed like the perfect opportunity. So I did some research. I was really lucky. I had quite a lot of time to research different companies and I found the one that suited me the most, which is obviously DaDa. Now, as a British person, there are a few companies that are immediately closed off to me, but there are still quite a few options left, and this is why I chose DaDa over the others. The main reason was because, well, there were 2 main reasons. You get your regular students, which I think is super important. I love seeing students progress and really getting to know their personality. When I was teaching in South Korea, I taught over 600 students a week and I found it really difficult to make proper connections with them, and I struggled with that. I didn't find the teaching that rewarding. But with DaDa, you have regular students, you can watch them progress, you get to meet their family, their friends, their pets, you get to go on holiday with them in the car, to a theme park, all over the place. So it's great. And I also loved that DaDa gives us the freedom to teach how we feel best. Again, in Korea, it was very regimented, and I know a lot of online schools are like this. You have a slide a minute, or you have to finish so many slides within the lesson, and it's really, encouraged to get through them no matter what. If the student is not on form that day, maybe if it's a weaker student, or I don't know, they have something really exciting to tell you, you're still expected to get through all of these slides, and that's just not my teaching style. It's not how I work. I like to have the time and the freedom to talk to my student and teach them as I think is best. I like to add songs and songs and stories and things to my lessons. So DaDa seemed perfect for me because it gives teachers the freedom to teach as they see fit and to teach to the student, not just race through the slides because you have to get through some arbitrary number for some arbitrary reason. Anyway, I also loved that DaDa pay DaDa pay half pay for standby time. So I generally now only have 1 or 2 hours of standby time a month, not so many. But in the beginning, when you're starting out, or in slow months like February when it's New Year, I do have some more standby time, and it's great that you get half your pay even if you're not teaching. So that was another really big bonus for me. And I also loved that I could travel. So I knew that I wanted to work from home, but just as I was thinking about it some more, the potential of being able to pack up and travel and go anywhere was really appealing to me. Again, I know some online companies you have to be based in certain places, but with DaDa you can go anywhere in the world as long as you have good internet. Okay, so this is why I chose DaDa. It's why I'm with them a year later. I've overall had a really positive experience. I love the company. I've met some amazing teachers. There's a really good support network out there. And yeah, it's been awesome. They do have their downsides. I think every online company does. The culture is very different to what you would expect in maybe an American company or a British company. So you have to take that into account. The only thing that I don't really like about DaDa is the leave policy. Now this is changing, I think, next week, so fingers crossed it's changing to something better. But currently you can have 2 days off a month, unpaid, which is absolutely fine. We're independent contractors, that's, to be expected. We can have 2 days off a month penalty free. If we have any more days than this, then we get fined 10% of the month's salary. And that is quite a lot of money if you work full time like I do. Now I have been really lucky in the past, I think maybe 2 months over the last year. I have had to have 3 days off for internet problems or when I was sick or something. I had proof and I didn't get fined, which is amazing. But yeah, this is a policy that I'm not a huge fan of, and I'm really hoping it will change for the better. If it doesn't, we'll find out next week. I will consider dropping my hours a little bit and choosing a second company. You will hear lots of people who work for 2 or 3 or 4 companies, and I think it is a good idea to diversify. You get different experiences, you get to see different platforms, different students and how things work, and it's also a bit more security. If things go wrong in one place, you always have a backup. Basically, I'm a little bit lazy, so I stuck with DaDa, and also I haven't yet found a company who have the same kind of values or teaching ideas. I think I will try, but I will really struggle with a company that is really rigid and expect you to do so much in a certain amount of time, no matter what is happening with the student and in their life. So that is why I'm with DaDa still now. I'd like to talk a little bit as well and share some advice and things that I wish I'd known or done differently when I first started. So the first thing I would recommend to anybody who is thinking about applying online is to find a referrer, I guess, or use a referral link of someone who is willing to help you. Don't just go on a search engine or, click a random link on Facebook of someone who's posted it in a comment. Make sure first that they are going to help you through the process, and not only through the process but after, at least for those first few weeks when you have lots of questions. It's absolutely free for you to do, but it will really help you out having those questions, having someone to, run through your demo with you, having someone to check your CV, to, help you through those first few weeks, understanding the platform, the different types of classes. These are all things you can find out yourself if you have the time and the energy, but it's so much easier if you just have one person that you can ask all these questions to. So, obviously, I'd love it if it were me. You used my link and I was the one to help you out, but even if not, I definitely recommend getting somebody because I just think it will make the whole process a lot smoother. I didn't, and because I didn't realise referral links were a thing, but I wish I had because, yeah, it would have made things a lot easier for me. I'm really lucky. I had a lot of time to spend. This was going to be my only job, so I knew I had a lot of time to research and find things out, but it would have been nice to have someone to help me straight from the beginning. The second thing I would recommend is, mainly if you're not in the US, is to open a Transferwise account. It took me 6 months to do this, and every month I would lose about £60 to £70 from my salary, which, thinking about it now, is crazy and so pointless, because as soon as I switch to Transferwise, I'm losing more like £5 to £15 a month. So it saved me a lot of money. So if you're just starting out or you're in your first month, open a Transferwise account and get paid in US dollars, and then you can convert it to British pounds or whatever currency you're using yourself. I have made a post about this in the Facebook group, so if you're in the group you can search and find out exactly how to set this up. The third thing I would recommend is get to grips with the time differences and the currency differences. I see so many people on their first day who are confused about when they're starting. They miss their first shift, which obviously doesn't look good. It can be confusing, but there are a couple of really simple tools that will help you understand the time differences. I will leave a link in the description bar of a really good time zone converter, so you can put your time zone in and China's time zone, and it will give you a difference, and you can see exactly what time it is there, what time it is here for each time of the day. I will also leave a currency converter that I do pay you in Chinese yuan, RMB, so you will need to know how to convert the currency to work out your hourly wage in your currency. The fourth thing I'd recommend is to watch some of the live shows before you start. These give you a great idea of what to do and what not to do. And I got loads of ideas from them, and they made me feel much more comfortable when it was my time to start. I kind of had an idea how the lessons go. I'd seen some of the courseware, and I just think it will make you feel a lot more confident in your teaching, and you'll see it's really not that difficult. The next thing I would recommend, let me go down, I've got some notes on my camera, on my computer. The next thing I would say is prepare to be unprepared. DaDa can often schedule your classes very last minute. Sometimes a class has already started, maybe a teacher was late or didn't arrive. They will assign you that class, and you have to be on the ball and ready all the time. Especially as a new teacher, this can be really stressful. So what I would recommend is prepare to be unprepared. Have a generic warm-up routine, cool-down routine, have some games ready, have some rewards that maybe you want to use, and these can stay the same no matter the lesson. Before I started, I wrote up one kind of warm-up plan for younger students, one for older students. I had a list of games that I could play, and I pinned them on the wall behind me, so that at least if you get a lesson that you have never seen before, you have a good 5 minutes at the beginning, a few minutes at the end, you can pull some games out to play, and then you just have to kind of figure out the courseware, which usually isn't that difficult. So prepare to be unprepared. Also, use that standby time. In the beginning, you might find you have only a couple of classes a day while your schedule builds up. Use that time, watch the live shows, make some props. Prepare for the future. But in saying that, don't invest too much time and money into props and things in the beginning. You need to really find out what kind of teacher you're going to be first. If you're going to use lots of pictures and props, or if you're more, drawing on screen or talking, I don't really know. You need to decide this before you spend a lot of time making stuff or buying stuff, because I bought and made loads of stuff that I never actually use, or I used once and never used again. It's a big waste of paper and money. So don't go too crazy in the beginning. Again, on the Facebook group, we've made a post about our kind of essentials kit and what we recommend for starters. Kat has a blog with an amazing flashcard set for start beginning students and for trials and for when you're starting out, so I'll leave that link down below too. And the last thing I would recommend is to use Manycam, or to try Manycam. Not straight away. I definitely give it a couple of weeks to settle in and make sure that you understand the classroom and how things work. But definitely, if your computer is powerful enough, give it a go. It's been, I'd say, life-changing. Sounds really like over-dramatic and, I don't know, cheesy. But it's been really, yeah, it's made my teaching so much. It's made me enjoy teaching so much more. There are so many things you can do with it. The students enjoy it. It has so many different functions. It can be free. There is a paid version, but you can get a free version. And yeah, it just makes the online teaching world so much bigger. And absolutely, I would recommend it. Get the free one, play with it, book a classroom with IT before you use it with a student to practice. And yeah, give it a go. Don't be scared of it. So these are the things I would recommend. Finally, I would recommend, if you're a new or a potential teacher, to come join us in Travel and Teach Online FAQ. Kat and I post every day. We work really hard to try and make sure you have all the current information. We give you lots of tips throughout the whole application process. We give you demo help. We try and post games and ideas for when you've started. And I might be biased, but I think it's a really good resource for new teachers or potential teachers. So definitely come and join us if you are interested. I am sorry I've spoken so long in this video. It seems to be a recurring theme. Yeah, I hope you found some useful information out of this and you have a great day. I will speak to you again soon. Goodbye.